at the World Economic Forum, according to the Newsom camp, who's there, he had an event scheduled where he was going to speak, and it got canceled. He got kicked out last minute because of the finger being put on the scale by the Trump administration due to their pettiness. Now, I'll give you the information about that, what happened, what got canceled, and the room he's not being allowed in now. But what triggered the Trump administration? It was Newsom giving not the quote-unquote rave reviews that Trump and Leavitt said were unanimous in the room.
Called that a remarkable speech. You were obviously named by President Trump during that speech. Yeah. What was your reaction to what he had to say about you?
None. I think he said something very different last night. I didn't hear new scum. I heard new green scam. But I mean, come on, it was remarkably boring. It was remarkably insignificant. He was never going to invade Greenland. It was never real. So that was always a fade. And so he says, well, we should negotiate. Well, everybody here has been willing to negotiate for a year. So it had fire and fury, signified absolutely nothing. Even by Trump standards, I was rather curious. And there was boorish parts of it, but those were not even that consequential, including name-checking people he likes, people he didn't like. So, I was not, honestly, I was a little disappointed. It was a little.
Hey, you remember I told y'all sometimes that can be the most hurtful way to respond to someone is fake authenticity, where you go, I don't know, I'm just worried he feels like he lost his step. It kind of saggy. I think a little saggy was the word I was thinking of when I was looking at him in some regions, and just sort of sleepy and senile. And it's sad. You know, I wanted better from the president. Newsom's press office said Trump's speech to world leaders at Davos, remarkably boring. Now, in a sense, I get what he's saying. Like, Trump had a weird, sleepy, unhealthy looking vibe. But it's not boring in the sense that what he's saying is, crazy and notable. But I think Newsom's trying to think of, I've told you all before, if someone were to say, if I walk, like you're about to walk into a room, but you can hear what's going on, but you haven't walked in, they don't know you're walking in yet. If I were about to walk into a room and someone was talking to one of my friends and the friend said, yeah, I mean, he's all right, but he's just super forgettable. Like I'm just like, he's so nothing, just kind of unremarkable. I feel like his existence, I forget very often. And it's like, that would be way, way worse than he's a dick, like an insult. Just for someone to say, he's just boring. Basic. Woo. Basic bitch. Oh. I think that's what Newsom's getting at. Trying to insult Trump in a way that would be more insulting than he was outrageous, which Trump likes being outrageous. Then you have this.
Point. It was a little nonplussed.
Did it stand out to you that he said Iceland multiple times when he was talking about Greenland?
And that every time a windmill turns, it costs $1,000. A lot of stuff stands out. None of this is normalized. There's a normalization of deviancy and consciousness and, comments and commentary.
Alliteration. Please do click the subscribe button if you appreciate this show. Subscribe to the show so you can see stuff. I just love Newsom's. We always like to poke a little fun at Newsom's unique mannerisms. Wait, go again.
LGBTQ.
I love it. So good.
Commentary. No other president. He's held to the curve. He's graded on a curve. I mean, it's really some jaw-dropping and remarkable statements that just fly in the face of facts and evidence and common sense. So, but they're you've heard them over and over and over again. Again, for the European audience, that may have been a new speech. My God, there wasn't anything new about that speech for the American audience. The only thing that was new is he said he's willing to negotiate. But wait a sec, that's not new either, because he's been saying we've wanted to negotiate for over a year.
You criticize.
Yeah. So spot on for sure, but apparently him criticizing may have prompted this. He said, breaking under pressure from the White House and State Department, USA House, a church acting as the official U.S. pavilion, is now denying entry to Gavin Newsom to speak with media. After Fortune, the official media partner, invited him to speak, Trump shuts out Newsom after governor gives speech a bad review, being kicked out of / denied entry to an event where he was supposed to speak at. Politico also reporting on this. Newsom administration alleges State Department pressure in Davos cancellation. Interesting, weird, petty, not surprising that they would do that. But then you had Bessent out here getting asked about Newsom. This is the Treasury Secretary of Trump's, who's an interesting character, and he tries to insult Newsom this way. It didn't hit very well for me.
Governor calls you smug. Are you smug?
Yeah.
What a question. Are you smug?
Governor calls you smug. Are you smug?
Yeah, I think it's very, very ironic that Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris.
He thought that was I got the photos if you're about to look them up already. Yeah, he thought that was gonna get a good crowd reaction. So I get that Patrick Bateman, we're talking about from American Psycho, is a murderer, but people here's an example. Oh no, Newsom looks like this in Bessent's mind. Bessent, raunchy Bessent. And then he's like, oh, and then I'll really insult him and then mix him with a Ken doll. Like, I get that he's saying he's a sociopath because Bateman was a murderer, but also I feel like people refer to Bateman in culture as like a guy who's so handsome he might be a sociopath. You know what I mean? So then you add on a reference that is so quintessentially Bessent. I had to look up what a sparkle. What did he say? He didn't even say Ken doll. He said a Sparkle Beach Ken doll. Scott, that's so you to think of Patrick Bateman. It sounds like you got the hots for Gavi. That's what it sounds like. He looks like a hot movie character mixed with a Ken doll. Ugh. God, you just make me so angry. Now, you also had Newsom being confronted, and Benny Johnson thought that this was an expose. Benny Johnson quotes the exchange I'll play for you and then said, holy smokes, this is not a serious person. Let's see.
Continue. We're going to expand our buses in the country. Yeah, very soon.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's a remarkable success.
Governor Newsom,
We need a leader like you.
Isaac, it's fine, dude. Governor Newsom, you remember, I'm friends with Charlie. I was friends with, obviously, as you know. I always appreciate your interview. Quick question. You mentioned Minneapolis. Any comment on this Don Lemon charging those guys into the church like that?
It's funny. Someone mentioned Don Lemon and Trump the other day, and so I have no idea what that's
It's
about.
a big viral story. He had a bunch of agitators. They ran into some kind of church. Don Lemon.
Into a church?
Yes.
You've been focused on this.
No, it's not even at this focus. I literally don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Great.
So, the right wing react. Whoa, what the heck just happened to me? That was kind of an El Pachuco moment. The right wing reaction was, oh, he's not serious. How could you possibly be a politician in America and not know about how Don Lemon was in Minneapolis filming inside of a church where no violence happened, but people spoke loudly near congregants, which was one of the greatest attacks on people ever. And then he walked out. How could you not know about such an event? We've been having memorials every day for this. A kid cried. Yeah, it kind of makes sense Newsom doesn't know about that, honestly. You're so online. How do you not know that an independent political journalist is being attacked online by online right-wingers for walking into a church with a camera. So, but apparently that got him. That got him.